All right.
Let me
Oh, here we
let me
go.
try to. You see him?
Yeah, here goes the screens changing here.
Okay.
About to launch this call for today. Yep, yep. Can
You
you hear
guys
us
hear
out
me?
there?
Yeah, I hear you guys.
Cool. All you gotta do is switch your video on and we got you.
Okay, hold on. This.
There we go. Coming through loud and clear.
Here, okay. There we go.
Afternoon, afternoon.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, we got Frostmaster in the house and we have DJ Pace now.
Yeah,
What's
everybody
going
up
on with
in?
Darkset?
Have either of you got to watch all four of the previous videos, all that whole series so far?
I did.
Hold on.
Oh, his headphones acting up again.
Uh,
No, they're not acting up. I just turned them on. It's good now.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I really I really enjoyed talking to Daddy D. I enjoyed talking to Sir Lover, the MC. All these faces that previously were just photographs. It's cool to just get people to tell their life story, man, and tell their experiences. So this is really cool.
Yeah. I went on and I seen the one. My brother called me and said, check it out. And I was like, oh man, we finally got some footage of some of this, you know, and just telling the history and stuff, but also, kind of cleaning up some of the history, you know. So that's what's kind of good about it.
Yeah, you want to get the story correct. You want to get the truth, the history correct. Everybody, yeah, that's our goal here.
Yeah,
Sure, for sure.
yeah, and I know there's gonna be egos and all kind of other stuff's up in there, but I think once it's all down, at least you got different perspectives and everybody can kind of take out of it what they want, but they can actually kind of connect stuff. So
Well, very cool. This is a good chance. I'm just gonna hit you right away, DJ Pace, man. Do you want to just summarize your origin story real fast for the viewers, man? Like, how would you describe your origin story? Did you start out as a DJ or as a producer or even as like a bopper, or how did you really get into hip hop?
I got into hip hop uh basically my brother, because I was a athlete. Basketball was my thing. I was pretty good at basketball at a young age. Um, and my brother, he was pretty good at basketball too, but he had he'd start DJing and doing stuff with audio. Him and his friend Mike Simmons, uh, they got together and they would do like well, back in the day, it started off with like ranking, really. They kind of just was at lunch ranking and stuff. And then they went from there to them making tapes, and then actually writing verses, clown verses to clown somebody,
Yep.
stand up on a table and clown somebody else or whatever. And then one day, him and Mike comes home and they're like, let's record this. And they recorded it, and he brung the tape back home. And this is when everybody had the boom boxes and stuff. He brought the tape back home, and I was just like amazed, like, oh, what, and it was funny. It was, all that, this and that. So I was getting more, he liked doing it, but I would be like on him, like, hey, you got to do another one of those, man, because that was funny, and that was like the radio, like okay, this is our personal way of kind of doing it and stuff like that. And then a couple friends down the block heard it, and they were just like me, telling him to go out to Simmons' house and go make another one and another one, and that's when I kind of like fell in love with it there. But as all that was going on, equipment start being, little equipment start popping up at the house. He bring home Simmons maybe couldn't finish up something, so my brother would come and he finish up a little something, this and that, and then we start buying. He start buying equipment and stuff, And it kind of got more and more. I guess that's kind of how our studio got built, kind of like that, just more and more on a gradual stage. So,
So here's a
yeah.
question. Some people do vertical racks for like rock and roll. Did you ever have a vertical rack, or was it more like tabletop setups?
Tabletop. But we had in the basement, we had a kitchen table. Uh, Started off with what did we start off with? We started off with a uh, turntables.
Probably like, yeah,
Was that was it turntables first? You got the 12s.
yeah. Uh, well, that's because when I first started after
It was
me and Sir
tapes
Sky,
back
or
then.
who you talking about, Michael Simmons was doing this. We was doing cassettes. We would bounce
Yeah,
cassettes off each other, like a box with a microphone on it, and then another cassette, and then play it over each other and record like that. But as time grew on, we and I separated from him. Then I got some old turntables, singular turntable, and was cutting on that and mixing on that and doing that. But I saved up my money because I watched either I watched something off of MTV, which was probably Malcolm McLaren's Buffalo Gals, and I caught a picture of the Technique 1200 turntable. And I think also, what else did I see? I seen his albums, their albums. I think they were the first one to show the 1200. So I read in the magazines about it, went to work for my dad, got some money, and then went to RMS Sound to get the MK Technique 1200s MK2s.
For people that don't
And we
know,
sat
man,
them on a
that's
table.
yeah. For people that don't know, that turntable is so radically better than anything else you can use. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain how much better it is.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
yeah,
Because it has the perfect torque. It had the where you load the needles. You could back then we had Stanton 500, I think double E needles. That you could put weight on. Well, I think it was up to 5 grams. Now I think it's way more than that now. And yeah, that's how we got started. And my brother used to he would rap with his friend Donnie Mitchell. So he called himself back then Sir Sweet, and Donnie Mitchell called himself Dr. Nasty, and they had a rap, and they rapped over the old tune Radioactivity. Um,
yeah,
and then so I helped them. I helped them produce that, and then they started rapping and doing stuff. But then, and so by the time KOC comes around, which was probably at the same time these guys started rapping, and I was being their full DJ at that point because I think Mike went off to Canada or college or something. And so pretty soon it escalated into me meeting. I think we were all on the Roosevelt. I was doing my last year at Roosevelt High School, transferred from Garfield High School, and Easy Shock was on the bus with us, if I remember correctly. And Easy
yeah.
Shock was talking about, and a couple other girls from the Backbreakers. I think Serena was on the bus as well, and maybe was Donna. No, I don't think Donna was on the bus.
No.
But they started a group called SOS, or Sounds of Seattle. And so, as you heard Cap talk on your previous video, right? So they got together. So I had heard about it, and they were having tryouts. So what a lot of people don't know is I tried to, talk to Easy Shock about trying out, because I was already DJing. But if you get a group of DJs, you can increase, your practice and stuff like that. See what other people are doing. But Easy Shock didn't like me. He was like, "Oh, Funch, you can't mix, you can't do this, man. All y'all whack and all that kind of stuff." So I'm like, okay, well, maybe they know something I don't know. And me and Anth at different times, DJ Pace at different times, went up to one of their parties, and we listened to them, and we were like, we can get
Yeah,
these dudes.
yeah,
So Anthony was watching me DJ a lot of times, and then after his group broke up with Dr. Nasty, then that's when he started picking up doing DJing, and he came into his own.
Yeah. And I like you know, it's like I was fully immersed in sports, basketball at the time, but at the same time, I would come down. Me and my brother would have like a 1-2 punch as far as our own studio. He's more technical, going and read the whole magazine and the whole book about how to set up this, and that. I'm the guy to come in and just figure it out. So like when he gets stuck in a spot, I can go look at it and run it this way, run it that way. Then after a while, I would figure it out, and he'd be like, "Oh, hold on, how do you do that?" And I, you know, once the system kind of made sense to me, I kind of can just figure it out. I just always been that way. And when he started doing more and more with the turntable stuff and all that, when I started going to like those parties, now I'm watching more, not knowing, I'm watching with a technical eye, saying, okay, these guys ain't really doing what they say they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went and watched Mix-a-Lot, you know, what were they, KOC or SOS? I don't know which one they was. They were KOC first, right?
SOS
No,
was
they were
first.
SOS
First SOS, then KOC.
Okay.
Yep.
So we go to the party at SOS, and they're kind of got a beef with Mix-a-Lot at the time. And they're capping, they're all up on the turntables, like, oh, is he really doing it? And they're looking at him, this, and that, and he's faking, oh, he this, and that. He got all these computers. That's why they're winning this, and that. So you need to talk used to be at school too. So then I go to the party. I go there and I look and I get up to where they are, and I'm looking. And yeah, he got a whole bunch of stuff running, but there ain't no computer over there. Oh, I'm looking, where the computer they talking about? Ain't no computer over there. So now I'm looking, see a 4-track because I'm educated already. 4-track. Okay, he switches the 4-track on. Then he gets to doing the scratching and stuff. It ain't really the scratching. He done switched the switch, and he's just going through the, like any performer would do. He's performing, but he's not really scratching and doing all this stuff that what they think he's doing. But he's going through his performance and all that, and shocking. And I guess the crowd is just believing he's doing all this stuff, and I'm just looking like, okay, yeah, I got that at home. I got a cheaper model of that at home, and I got that. But yeah, this is what it is. And shocking him is just going on. Oh, he got computers and he got all this other stuff, and that was always the thing around the CD at the time, because the favorites in the CD at that time was SOS and them, closer, what we would call closer to the people, because Mix-a-Lot start growing at a high rate.
So Pace, let me ask you this. So basically, you stopped working with Dr. Nasty, and then what was the next crew that you consider yourself affiliated with? Did you have a solo period, or did you have another clique or crew that you joined up with?
Yeah, I had another one, the Ice MCs. Guy named Dante. I don't know his last name.
Yeah, he called
Dante.
himself MTK.
Yeah, MTK. Dino. What's Dino's last name?
LTB.
I can't think
LTB.
of it.
Oh, you mean Dino's last name?
Yeah.
I can't think of his last name. His name is Herbert. I forgot his last
Herbert.
name. But
Yeah,
his real name is Herbert.
And the other one was Joe.
LTB.
Joe was what was Joe's nickname? Ice something. ICJ. I think that was his name.
Ice
Joe.
J.
Ice J.
Not
Yeah.
ICJ. He was
Okay,
Ice J.
Yeah. Anyway, he passed, but he had a cousin that was in the Incredible Crew, and he was a guy. I think he was from California.
Okay,
but he came in.
Let's not forget ILL was part of that crew too.
Yeah, Not at first though, but yeah,
Sh-
he came in. Shit came in a little later.
yeah, Shedra Manning. Yeah,
Yeah,
Shedra Manning, ILL, who later was joined up with the Darkset.
yeah.
It sounds like you're describing Ice MCs as like more than six. Like you named like 6 or 7 people almost, right?
Ice MC was 4 with me, 4,
4,
and then with Shed came 5. Yeah,
5. Okay, 5. It sounded like more, but yeah, okay, that works.
yeah,
That
yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, when we went and did shows, my brother kind of helped us get together and do stuff. But by then, I kind of knew my way around the studio. I knew how to make beats. I knew how to DJ. Knew how to do it all. And these guys would come with their raps, and I would just count their measures. You know, set them up to where we could do it, and we just do shows like that.
Nice.
So
And do you remember the first beats you started making? Do you remember some of the early beats you made for songs for individual rappers or groups to rap over?
yeah, oh yeah, and I forgot a guy named Herm Randall. Uh, what
B-Boy
was
Herm.
Herm's? What was his? What was Herm's?
Wasn't it B-Boy Herm? B-Boy Herm?
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, B-Boy Herm. Yeah, he was another MC of mine at the time. So I guess at that time I was like a producer that was in like 2 groups.
Hmm.
And
No, you was in more than that. There was Ice MCs. Then later
okay,
on, there was you worked with well, you came out with a tape that you guys called the Bomb, where you had LTB, B-Boy Herm,
okay.
and
So
Dino.
so so Dino is the guy that's in the Ice MCs. So basically, that would be like me breaking off and doing a single album for him by itself. So we did LTB an album, and we did Herm. Well, Herm was one of my single MCs I had cornered off to the side. So that's why I said I was kind of mostly doing like producing these cats with just my name tagged on with them. Then far as a group,
Well, not only that, but you also did Eric Canton
yeah,
uh,
Can
at the
Eric
same
Canton,
time.
Mellow Mike,
His Yeah, Mello. I think you probably did some demos for Mello. Not only that, you did Ronaldo, Eno E. Uh,
Ronaldo, and I forgot about that.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah, you did a lot of stuff. We both did a lot of stuff. A lot of MCs probably even are forgetting here. That's why it's good that somebody like Daddy D, the musical hoarder, like he used to do in his room, in his dirty ass room when he was a kid, 15, and when he was in the U district. But he
Yeah.
used to
oh, I
hoard
got
shit too.
Dino calling me now. His name is Herbert Scott.
Oh wow,
Yeah, Herbert Scott. That's right.
Scott, that's his last name.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Pace. So would that be a source of income for you in those days? Would you be able to make money per hour? Would you be able to charge people like, "Hey, I'll do a beat for you if you give me so and so amount of money"? Would it work like that?
No, not so much. What back then, man, it was more equipment, records. Cats would do stuff for you like that because the cats I was messing with at the time, we were so young that money wasn't really a cats didn't really have money like that, to do stuff. I and being that I was off more like on the sports tip, I'd run in and cats was like begging my brother to do a lot of stuff. And when I ran in, I'd be like, okay, let me, hey, I could do this, whatever, this, and that. And my brother would, be running out getting records or going over here doing stuff with Kevin and all, these other places. So I would take these guys that all were lined up and really didn't have money and stuff like that. And I said, well, hey, man, I just love doing it. So, hey, let's get in here and let's see what we can do. But then I also learned that you had your hard heads that just come in there and just want to do any, and it had to make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That was my whole thing. My brother kind of worked with a lot of people that didn't even make sense. That I wasn't, I couldn't handle that too much of that. So, but
Hell, you
yeah,
had Ronaldo. Ronaldo was the
yeah,
most
but that was one of
craziest
my
rapper.
first. He was one of the first. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's where I kind of learned.
Well, before we get to Darkset, Pace, let me ask you this: after Ice MCs breaks up, was there anything else that you did between that and Darkset?
Oh, but you know what I forgot? I forgot Love. Lady Love,
Lisa
what
Love.
was her name? Lisa
Lisa
Love.
Love.
I won
Not to
the
be confused. Not to be confused with Lisa Lau.
yeah.
This is
Right.
it's different.
I won the Seattle what was it called back then?
It was some sort of rap off that Glenn Boyd, I think, hosted actually.
It was a Seattle Center citywide contest, rap contest or whatever.
Huh.
And I did it with a young lady
Lisa.
named Lisa
I don't know. I don't remember last name.
yeah, I can't remember her last name, Hawkins or
But
something.
but her rap name was Lisa Love. She won
Yeah,
it. She won it in a contest where me and Sir Love was in that contest too. Chili Uptown
yeah,
was in that contest. I think
right.
me and Sir Love came in second.
And
Um,
so she asked me to do a beat for her to produce this you know give her music for the to do the show, and she wanted me to be her DJ. And back then, DJ meant basically doing your music and all that together. So we worked on some songs and stuff, and I kind of got it like I wanted, but then this Eddie Wells came and helped me out. We got the 909. I mean, we got his 909, and we started doing a couple things, and we put together a song, and we presented it to her, and this is what we took to them, and we ended up winning the whole thing.
Nice, nice.
yep. Yeah, and Chili Uptown was mad. Chili Uptown was so heated. Tell them about what Chili Uptown did.
I can't remember.
You can't remember? Oh, I can remember. Chili Uptown was so mad. He talked about he talked about Ant. He talked about DJ Pace. He said, "Oh man, he's weak. He's this. He's that." And I was like, "Man, are you serious? You can't even rap on beat. What are you?" Chili Uptown was heated.
Mhm.
That cat
Yeah,
was heated that you won.
that's funny because I used to see
Oh
that cat
no,
all the
no,
time.
no.
He never said nothing to me.
Yeah, well he said he didn't. I think he didn't know me and you were brothers or something, man. And he said it, and I just like, man,
And that
you
was a big
off
thing
beat.
too. A lot of cats didn't even know me and him were brothers,
Mhm.
which was
Mhm.
Yep.
crazy.
Mhm. Well, does that bring us up to Darkset then? Because Darkset to me is really one of the most complex rap groups from Seattle, with the layering of the music, with the content, with the very like over the top kind of extreme content and
Yeah,
whatnot. But the beats, man, the beats on that record. So can you talk about Darkset just for a minute?
yeah. So a piece of that, like I said, when Ed came in to help me out with the Lisa with the Lisa thing for that show,
Hmm.
Ed had walked up all the way from the valley to the CD, and he helped me out with that. But that was sort of a bridge kind of uh into the dark set kind of thing. Him and my brother kind of had a beef kind of already was they had a like a little beef going. But Ed, from us talking, making from us making this music, Ed would kind of tell me that he was kind of the direction that the Emerald City Street Boys were going in, this and that, he was ready to move on to a different type of style of doing music and just as and expressing itself. And then Bunk, I think you could take it from there.
Yeah, so Ed, me and Ed had a battle at Club Broadway in which I beat him, and then he tried to rap against Sir Love, and then Sir Love beat him. And then afterwards, he met me when he was with James Croon. He met me and he wanted to bury the beef, and he wanted me to DJ for the Emerald Street Boys after Ness had left. And then Rob Jameson, Sweet J, left the Emerald Street Boys. And so they formed a new group with me called the CD Players, in which we went to performed at Washington Hall and a couple other places. We went to the studio also. And James Croon sort of fell off and you know, I guess doing hustling or something back then. And then so Ed was DJing at Encore in Renton, right, coincidentally, right on Wells Street in downtown Renton. And I used to go up there, and then me and him used to talk. Well, he came by the crib where I lived in 19th and Union in the Central District looking for me, but I wasn't there. My brother was there. And so, you know, Ed always wanted to do music. He was just a music fiend, just like the rest of us. So him and my brother collaborated on Lisa Love, I think, with Eric Can. What's Eric Can's rap name again? I always forget his damn rap name.
I can't even think of it.
I can't think of it. We'll think of it later. But anyway, other cats like that. And also, who used to produce my brother was, E. Rush. Eric Can, E. Rush. So, and also, they had a manager also, Earl Cheatham, or Cheese, used to manage you guys. And he came up with that tape called The Bomb, which had
Earl the
B-Boy Herm. Earl
That's
the
his
Pearl.
name. Earl the
Pearl. I called him B-Boy Herm, but it's Earl the Pearl. LTB, and there was somebody else on the tape also.
Did that bomb tape ever get mass produced, or did it ever get put out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it is, but it's out there. So so after that, we sort of, me and Ronnie Ronnie or Sir Love and me formed the Ace of Spades crew, right? But Ronnie started going off, and I don't know what he was doing. He was having family issues, and he wouldn't show up for practice in the recording sessions. So we developed a production team. Darkset started off as a production team of my brother, me, and Eddie Wells, or DJ Sugar Bear, or in the Darkset he was known as Kodiak Bear. Mm-hmm. So we kept doing these songs together and everything, and pretty soon I dropped Ronnie up out of the group, and we formed the Darkset, and which was, I got the name from when I was at a club and I was dancing with this girl who happened to be a Blood, and the Bloods came in. It was at the Hollywood Underground, and the Bloods came in, and she started, throwing up her Blood sign. And she said, "Oh, that's my set. That's my set." So I'm like, yeah, set. But also because we had been blackballed by Mix-a-Lot and them guys, they didn't want us to come out. They were like, they would go to A&R places like in Chicago, as reported to me by a guy named Hurricane, who produced these couple groups. And Hurricane told me that at one of the A&R seminars, Mix-a-Lot was talking about Seattle. And in the process of him talking about Seattle, he said, well, one group no label should sign, and that's the Darkset. So even before all that, Nasty Ness would not play me anymore on 1250K Fox or Fresh Tracks because Glenn Boyd had put word out that we were dissing Mix-a-Lot because he got upset about what a friend of mine, DJ Sergio LaCour, who used to DJ for Chris, said in his story music menu. So he associated us both together. And so we were blackballed. So then that's when I took, instead of saying black set, I said dark set. So it was a symbol of us being blackballed from the local luminaries like Glenn Boyd, Sir Mix-a-Lot, and Ed Locke. At the time, Ed Locke, but now Sheila Locke. So that's how the name came. And so we drafted, like many other MCs that used to come by the house that I didn't even know. Like, for example, well, I knew Sir Love because he was in the hood. He just came to me after KOC kicked him out, right? And Daddy D, even before Sir Love came to me first. So they kicked him out of KOC as well. And that's how they got. Well, same thing happened with ILL or Shedra Manning. And that's how he became also a part of the Darkset because he was so good. He originally was in a group called the SWAT Team, which was an acronym for Strictly Wicked and Treacherous. And so
about that.
I first recorded, did a demo for him, let guys, old school guys from Silver Chain at that point, listen to him. They thought he sounded too young. He was kind of corny, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, this guy's the next guy coming up. And then my brother took over after that and started DJing and started producing. But we all started being a production group at first. But when certain rappers wouldn't show up to do their lyrics, then I had to step in as a rapper, kind of like how Dr. Dre did with NWA, right? And so I took the forefront along with Kodiak Bear and ILL, and let DJ Pace be the DJ, take over the DJ reins. But we all kind of produced that whole album, the music and everything.
Our time is just about winding up, so we got like about 3 to 4 minutes left. So I want to throw this back to Pace and to Frostmaster, man. Do you have any last thoughts that you want to share? We only got about 3 minutes.
Okay, I got a quick one because this goes back to the battle because people were actually there, but stuff ain't getting told right. Okay, the battle was a massacre. It wasn't just a battle; it was a massacre. We walked in there and we now take it. I like I said, I was more into sports. But when we went there, we practiced for about 2 weeks. And my brothers had us practice 2 weeks or so, something like that. We all geared up for this battle. We go and have this battle. These guys had the difference that they're not saying is these guys were just party guys. You know what I'm saying? They were guys who just had turntables, put on records, and would rock the crowd, and the whole community knew them, and they loved that. That's what they love about them. But when it came to performing and actually doing stuff on the turntables with skill, these guys knew nothing about that. You would see guys come up in a guy's set and just take their hand and just go jigga jigga while the guy is actually up there trying to mix. And this is the point, they don't talk about that. And Shock was so mad, Easy Shock was so mad that he came to us after the show and says, man, you guys, it's embarrassing. You guys beat us, blah, 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 this and that. But Chill, I want to battle you again on your turntables and this and that. But as far as the show, everybody inside, everybody this and that, their own people were talking about him because it was so bad. And I after that, I don't even know what to say. And that's why I want Easy Shock to kind of be on one of these things so we can put this to Betty by to really what happened. And that's my minute. So go ahead, Bump.
I have no more to say. He summed it up perfectly on that. Shock, if you're out there, man, admit that you and Cap, man, you guys lost. You not only lost with the at the party, you lost at my crib when you try to battle me, and that's it.
Well, let me say rest in peace to Sugar Bear because everybody remembers Sugar Bear as just a real good guy who was always down to rock a party. And so yeah, shout out to Eddie Wells, Kodiak, aka Sugar Bear, man. Shout out to him for sure.
Shout out,
The bear.
Darkset for life.
All right, we'll talk again. This is just another chapter.
All right. Right on.
All right,
Thanks, no.
peace, man.
All right.
See you now. Bye bye.
Gone.